Hi, this is Gil Cargill. In the next 10 or 12 minutes, I'm going to share with you some ideas that will help you get more first meetings without doing the old fashioned heavy lifting of cold calling. Let's get going. As you can see on your screen, this is all about getting referrals. When you are looking for new opportunities, new people to sell to, one of the most efficient investments of your time is in pursuing referrals from your existing customers. At some level, all of your customers have a degree of satisfaction with you, your company, your products, and your service. If they didn't, they wouldn't still be a customer. So let's make sure that we take advantage of these relationships in a professional, non intrusive, non embarrassing way in order to get more first meetings with the people that your customers know. Back in the day when these gentlemen were selling telephones, you didn't need to ask for referrals because they were selling a non-competitive product. And what I mean by that is there were no competitors. They were the only game in town, and they had the ability to revolutionize the way people communicated. So word of mouth spread amongst the customers, the potential customers of these guys, and they got lots of business. Now, clearly, in today's world, there aren't any products that are as revolutionary as the telephone was when it was the only game in town. Consequently, we have to be proactive. One of the mistakes that we make, and you've heard me say this many times before, is we aren't there when the customers are ready to buy. You have to get in touch and stay in touch with all decision makers and all accounts all of the time. Otherwise, transactions will occur that don't consider you. If you're not considered, you can't win. And I know that almost sounds like a big duh, but nonetheless, we assume that customers will reach out for us or to us based on our superior products, services, and or reputation. I don't want you to fall into that trap. The key is we have to get in touch and stay in touch with all decision makers all of the time. Otherwise, we will have a situation where we don't compete often enough, and if you don't compete often enough, you can't win enough business. Referral marketing is one of the best ways to put new opportunities into your funnel. As you probably know from other presentations I've made, less than 1% of cold calls return an appointment. On the other hand, when referrals are given, you have almost a 100% chance that the prospect will be willing to meet with you at least by phone, perhaps face to face. You see, when person A introduces you to their friend, person B feels a sense of obligation to at least hear you out. And at the end of the day, that's what most sales professionals want from most of their prospects. Let me get into your business, into your head, share my ideas, and hopefully help you realize how I can help you resolve or optimize or eliminate one or more of your obstacles. The secret sauce of all of our prospecting and marketing activity is to make sure that we are at this intersection when the customers are ready to buy. The intersection is that of trust and timing. You see, they can't buy from you if they don't know you. And tragically, many underperforming sales professionals and sales teams miss out because they don't compete often enough. It's not about how well they compete. It's not about the quality of their product. It is the fact that they just aren't at this intersection. So if a customer doesn't know you, they can't buy from you. Now, many customers may get to know you through traditional prospecting and marketing techniques, but if they get to know you at a time that is not appropriate for them, they once again won't buy. So you have to be at this intersection of trust and timing, and then and only then can you expect to get some business. Let's make sure that we use referral marketing as one of the strategies to help us get in touch with all of the decision makers in all of the market. Stop and think for a second. What would happen to your top line if you got one new customer every 3 or 4 months as a result of referrals? I think you'll agree that that could be a tremendous improvement for many companies. We know that we should do this referral marketing. I can't tell you how many sales training sessions I've conducted where salespeople have told me that they know they should do this, but they don't get around to it for any one of a number of reasons. You see, referral marketing, soliciting referrals, is one of the easiest things to postpone. When you add to that the fact that many of us are uncomfortable asking for referrals, you have a 1-2 punch, which literally means you won't get around to it. We should do it, and we should do it all the time. So let's take a look at the topics I'm going to cover this morning. Number one, I want you to clearly understand why you have reluctance, if you have it, about asking for referrals. One of the biggest components of this reluctance is what I call the good work myth, and I'll tell you more about that in just a moment. I'm going to share with you some tactics that you can use to overcome this reluctance, and I want to make sure that you never prejudge your relationships. Most importantly, we have to avoid the syndrome that I've nicknamed getting ready to get ready. This is the salesperson who plans to go and generate referrals, but they found at the last moment that they had a better way to generate referrals, so they don't use their first plan. Plan B comes up with a flaw or two, so they don't use that. Plan C then comes up to the plate, and once again, they find a reason not to use it. So this sales professional is in a situation that I've nicknamed permanently getting ready to get ready. Let's stop getting ready, and let's just get ahead and make something happen. I'm going to share with you a consistent approach that I believe is a lot better. Now, as you move through your presentations, make sure that you understand how your audience may react to your request for a referral as well as the follow-up on that referral. If you're gaining referrals from other professionals and they are introducing you to their clients, they may perceive that there's a risk to their reputation for making this referral. On the other hand, they may perceive that making a referral, should it not work out well, will have a negative impact on their income, or at bare minimum, their income potential. Asking for referrals from your existing clients is a great way to grow your database as well as to get more first meetings. But your existing clients may perceive that they have a risk to their reputation, and they may perceive that they have a risk to their relationship with the person to whom they're referring you. After all, none of us want one of our friends to come back to us and say, that guy or gal that you introduced me to really was an embarrassment. Consequently, they're very cautious, and our approach is very professional, non-confrontational, and it will help you get these referrals. You have to understand your reluctance to do it, and I found that fear of rejection is the number one reason many salespeople never ask for referrals. You see, they want to make sure that everyone likes them and that they never run the risk of possibly creating some sort of a feather ruffling, if you will. They also fear that they may damage their existing relationships with either other professionals and or their customers, and consequently damage their future revenue. I like to sum it up by saying it's the fear of the unknown. But as you can see on your screen, I've spelled fear in a way that should inspire you to move forward regardless of how you feel. Reluctance is a perception, and perceptions are the issues that you need to deal with. So as I'm saying, I want you to face everything and rise. And that's how I want you to spell fear. Now, the good work myth is the number one reason that causes us to avoid getting referrals. You see, we feel that we're doing good work. We feel that our company's the best and our customers are getting spectacular results from our products and services and or our relationship. Because we feel we're getting good work, we feel, and I really should say we hope, that the customers will pick up the phone and introduce us to their friends. Now, I have to tell you, I've done great work for the past 40 years, and I've had many of my clients get spectacular results and improvements that exceeded their expectation. But unless I ask them for a referral, they just don't get around to it. And that's really the issue. You're doing good work, but I'd like you to do what I call an analysis of your existing relationships. Before you start your referral marketing campaign, go through an exercise that is clearly explained by the phrase on your screen. Here's what we've done for you lately. I'd like you to know all of the favors, all of the extra work, all of the benefits, all of the congratulations and allocates that you've received from a customer. Once you know how good your relationship actually is, you don't have to hope that the customer will be cooperative when you ask for referrals. You see, the reason the good work myth is no good for you is that your customers expect good service. So when they get good service, they're getting what they expect. They aren't wowed, they're just satisfied. They recognize that you are doing good work, but they don't understand that you and your company will grow more rapidly, more efficiently, and profitably by having referrals to new customers. Role play and practice are the best ways to overcome your reluctance. I suggest that in your group meetings, you practice writing the emails that will be sent to your existing customers, asking them to identify a few of their professional associates who may benefit from a relationship with your company as your customer has. I'd like you to present your emails to the team, and I'd like you to practice amongst yourselves following up on these emails. Then, most importantly, I'd like you to schedule 3 campaigns, 3 waves of outbound emails to generate referrals. These should be 120 days apart. I don't want you to be perceived as a pest. So every 4 months, I want you to send emails to your customers asking them for referrals using the format that I'll share with you in just a moment. And then go ahead and do it, and let's see what happens. Another reason that we fail to generate referrals is we prejudge our relationships. I think it was Winston Churchill that said pessimists are always right. And I believe that if you are pessimistic about your opportunity to get referrals from your existing customers, you are right. Because of this correctness or belief, you're not going to move forward. As a result of failing to move forward, you won't get referrals. But then, here's when the pessimist comes in. You'll say, you see, I knew it wouldn't work. So let's drop the pessimism and just go do it and see what happens. The secret sauce is let's keep it professional. Please don't beg for referrals. Accept and expect rejection. It's part of the game, but it's not harsh. It's just the customers will say, I don't know anybody that could benefit from a relationship with you at this point in time. All you need is a very small percentage of the existing customers to give you referrals every 4 months for you to have a significant change in the top line of your business. Let's avoid getting ready to get ready. So the first thing I want you to do is segment your audience. We're going to do this now. Now, you may have some professional referrals. These are other men and women who make a living selling a complementary product or service. And you also have your customers. Those are 2 segments that come to mind immediately. I want you to write an email that will ask them to give you an introduction to people that they may know who could benefit from your relationship. Then we want your list to be built, and I want you to send out the email. You're going to have to follow up on every email, and you're going to have to repeat for all of your customers. Your email should essentially say in the first line, sentence or 2, that I want to thank you for the business you've given me and my company. And the reason for writing today is to see if you know anyone that would benefit from our services as you have. And if you don't mind, kindly jot those names down, and I'll call you next Tuesday at 10 o'clock. Always put a specific date and time to collect those names. I thank you in advance for your assistance, And as always, I remain sincerely yours. That's the right way to write these emails. We're asking them for help. We're not asking them for money. We're asking them to help us build our business. And actually, most importantly, we're asking them to help a friend of theirs get the same benefit that you've got. Consistency to your referral marketing program is the key, and you must ASK to GET. You must do it 3 times per year. You must send a letter or an email first. I prefer email, but it doesn't matter. And then follow up with a phone call. And recognize that 3% of the customers in any market, according to the Sales Lead Management Association, are at any time actively looking for new solutions. 97% of them are future buyers. These future buyers are the men and women that once you've established contact with them, you should put them into your closed loop marketing system and stay in touch with them perpetually. You remember that you have to touch a stranger 8 to 9 times before they get the totality of the value that you bring to their business or to their life. Most salespeople give up after 4 attempts to get that person that you've been referred to grant you a phone appointment or a face-to-face appointment. 7, 8, or 9 attempts is the key, and it always is a function of following up with them by email. When you follow up, make sure you refer to the person that gave you the introduction. So I'd like to say, hi, this is Gil Cargill. I'm following up on the email that I sent you as a result of John Doe's recommendation. Always use the name that will trigger a positive response on the part of your prospects. This tactic will eliminate cold calls forever. You'll only be making warm calls, and you can control the volume or the frequency of these campaigns. And remember, it's not how many people you know that's important. It's how many people know you, your company, your products and services, and most importantly, know the results that you produce. So as always, I want to wish you good luck and good selling. And this is Gil Cargill. Have a great day and go sell somebody something.